Comfort and reliability are two of the most important factors when choosing a car. No one wants to drive a vehicle that constantly breaks down or makes every ride feel like an endurance test. We'll take a closer look at 10 vehicles that are among the worst in both comfort and reliability. If you're shopping for a car, these are models you might want to think twice about before buying. Number 10, Nissan Versa, with a starting price around $16,000. The Nissan Versa might be one of the most affordable new cars on the market, but that low price comes with a cost, poor comfort, and questionable reliability. Inside, the cabin feels cramped, and the seats offer little in terms of support. Drivers and passengers often complain that the thinly padded seats become uncomfortable even on short trips, making long drives a miserable experience. The ride quality is another major issue. The Versa's suspension is too stiff, meaning you'll feel every bump and pothole on the road. Additionally, road noise is a big problem, with excessive wind and tire noise making its way into the cabin, making it hard to hold a conversation or enjoy music. Reliability isn't much better. The Versa comes with a continuously variable transmission, CVT, which is notorious for early failures. With its lackluster ride quality and questionable longevity, the Versa is a car that many buyers regret. Number 9, Jeep Compass, with a starting price around $27,000. The Jeep Compass may have an aggressive, rugged design, but don't let that fool you. This is one of the most uncomfortable compact SUVs you can buy. Despite its SUV status, the Compass struggles to deliver a smooth ride. The suspension fails to absorb bumps properly, making the ride harsh and bumpy, especially on uneven roads. The interior doesn't help either. The seats are stiff, the cabin feels outdated, and the materials used inside make the vehicle feel cheaper than it should. Noise insulation is another weak point. Wind and road noise are constant companions, especially at highway speeds. When it comes to reliability, the Compass has an unfortunate track record. Many owners have reported problems with the transmission, electrical system, and even engine failures. The Compass is also known for its sluggish acceleration, making highway merging and passing frustrating. Number 8, Chevrolet Spark, with a starting price around $14,000. The Chevrolet Spark is a budget-friendly option for those looking for a small city car, but it's far from a comfortable or reliable choice. The interior is extremely basic, with cheap materials and minimal padding on the seats. The ride is rough, and with such a small frame, the Spark struggles to absorb even minor road imperfections. The engine is another major downside. The tiny 1.4-liter four-cylinder engine produces just 98 horsepower, making the Spark one of the weakest cars on the market. Highway driving is particularly stressful, as the engine struggles to keep up and wind noise becomes unbearable. Reliability is also a concern. Owners have frequently reported transmission failures, electrical malfunctions, and various mechanical issues that lead to expensive repairs. Number 7, Ford EcoSport, with a starting price around $23,000. The Ford EcoSport is an example of a car that looks promising but delivers disappointment. Marketed as a small SUV with great practicality, the EcoSport fails to provide a comfortable driving experience. The interior is cramped, the seats lack cushioning, and the cabin is filled with cheap plastic materials that make the car feel low quality. The suspension does a poor job of absorbing bumps, making the ride feel jarring, even on smooth roads. Rear seat passengers have it even worse, as legroom is extremely limited. The car's outdated design also means that it lacks modern features that could make the drive more enjoyable. In terms of reliability, the EcoSport has been plagued by transmission issues, engine problems, and electrical malfunctions. Many owners have reported jerky acceleration and sluggish performance, making it one of the least desirable small SUVs on the market. Number 6, Mitsubishi Mirage, with a starting price around $17,000. The Mitsubishi Mirage is one of the cheapest new cars available, but it's also one of the worst in terms of comfort and reliability. The seats are flat and unsupportive, and the overall interior design feels outdated. The ride quality is terrible, with a suspension that struggles to absorb even the smallest bumps. The Mirage is powered by a weak 3-cylinder engine that produces just 78 horsepower, making acceleration painfully slow. Highway driving is particularly challenging, as the engine constantly struggles to keep up and road noise becomes overwhelming. Reliability is another major downside. The Mirage's CVT transmission is known for early failures, and many owners have reported persistent electrical issues. Number 5. Dodge Journey, with a starting price around $25,000. The Dodge Journey was meant to be an affordable family SUV, but it ended up being one of the most disappointing models in its class. The seats are hard and uncomfortable, especially for long trips. The cabin feels outdated, and the cheap materials used in the interior make the car feel like it belongs in a past decade. The ride quality is poor, with excessive body roll and a suspension that struggles to keep the car stable. Handling is sluggish, and the overall driving experience feels unrefined. Reliability is just as bad. The Journey is notorious for transmission failures, engine problems, and electrical malfunctions. It's no surprise that Dodge discontinued this model due to its poor reputation. Number 4. Chrysler 200, with a starting price around $23,000. The Chrysler 200 promised comfort and style, but it failed to deliver. The seats are uncomfortable, with a lack of proper support, making long drives unbearable. Road noise is excessive, and the ride quality is rough, with a suspension that fails to smooth out bumps. The Chrysler 200 also suffered from poor reliability. The transmission is one of its biggest weaknesses, with many owners reporting issues such as jerky shifting and complete failures. Electrical problems and engine malfunctions are also common, making this one of the least reliable sedans in its class. Number 3. Fiat 500L, with a starting price around $24,000. The Fiat 500L might seem like a quirky, practical small SUV, but in reality, it delivers one of the worst driving experiences in its class. The ride is stiff, making every road imperfection feel like a major bump, and the seats are uncomfortable even for short drives. The interior, despite its spacious look, feels cheap with hard plastics, flimsy controls, and an awkward seating position that leaves drivers feeling cramped. Road noise is also a major issue, with excessive wind and tire sounds making their way into the cabin, especially at highway speeds. Reliability is another major concern. Number 2. Chevrolet Trax, with a starting price around $22,000. The Chevrolet Trax is marketed as an affordable subcompact SUV, but it falls short in both comfort and reliability. The cabin is filled with hard, cheap plastics, and the seats lack proper cushioning, making long trips uncomfortable. Rear passengers have it even worse, with limited legroom that makes the back seat feel cramped. The ride quality is poor, with the suspension struggling over rough roads, causing excessive jolts and vibrations. Highway drives are noisy, with wind and road noise making conversation difficult. Reliability is a significant issue with the Trax. The 1.4-liter turbocharged engine is underpowered and struggles with acceleration, especially when merging onto highways or carrying passengers. Transmission failures are common, often leading to costly repairs before the vehicle even reaches 100,000 miles. Number 1. Nissan Rogue Sport, with a starting price around $25,000. The Nissan Rogue Sport tries to position itself as a smaller, more affordable version of the popular Rogue, but it fails in nearly every way. The seats are stiff and uncomfortable, with poor lumbar support that makes even short commutes tiring. The suspension is overly firm, making the ride harsh and bumpy, especially on uneven roads. That wraps up our list of the 10 worst cars for comfort and reliability. If you're looking for a smooth, dependable ride, these models should be at the bottom of your list. Have you ever driven or owned one of these cars? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.